W.B. Yeats was a poet who played a large role in the Irish literary revival. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923 and was the first Irishman to do so. As a part of the Protestant Anglo-Irish minority, he was very proud of his Irish nationality and focused his many poems on Irish legends, folklore, ballads, and songs. His poetry was described by the Nobel Committee as inspired poetry, which in a highly artistic form gives expression to the spirit of a whole nation. One of his greatest achievements was helping to found the Irish National Theatre Society, in which he later became president of. It was this society that led to the opening of the Abbey Theatre.
W.B. Yeats is considered one of the most renowned poets for Irish nationalism. Yeats sought to bolster the nationalist movement by creating pro-independent Irish plays, poems, and works in order to convince the people that independence was the best option for Ireland. The most notable of these were Easter 1916, 16 Dead Men, and The Rose Tree. Easter 1916 focuses on the classic Irish formula of outmatched heroes laying down their lives to stand up to England. 16 Dead Men focuses on the leaders of the Easter Rising and the brutal way in which they were killed. This served as something for the Irish people to rally around against England. The Rose Tree is a short poem of conversation between two of the leaders of the Easter Rising, James Connolly and Padraig Pearse, where Connolly explains that only bloodshed will be able to revitalize Ireland. The Rose Tree reads as follows. "O words are lightly spoken," said Pearse to Connolly. "Maybe a breath of politic word has withered our rose tree, or maybe but a wind that blows across the bitter sea." "It needs to be but water," James Connolly replied, "to make the green come out again and spread on every side, and shake the blossom from the bud to be the garden's pride." "But where can we draw water," said Pearse to Connolly, "when all the wells are parched away, oh plain as plain can be? There's nothing but our own red blood can make a right rose tree." As a nationalist, Yeats also wanted to promote an Irish identity. He did so by creating the Irish National Theatre Society, which would later create the Abbey Theatre, a uniquely Irish theatre that catered to Irish poets and playwrights. W.B. Yeats and the Irish National Theatre Society were part of a greater movement known as the Irish Literary Revival, which sought to promote Irish nationalism and culture through the arts. Yeats was not limited to the arts, however. He also became briefly involved in politics. From 1922 to 1928, Yeats served on the Irish Senate until in 1928 he chose not to run for re-election due to failing health.
Throughout his literary career, Yeats incorporated distinctly Irish themes and issues into his work. He used his writing as a tool to comment on Irish politics and to educate and inform people about Irish history and culture. Yeats also used the Irish countryside as a background for retelling stories and legends from Irish folklore. As he became increasingly involved in nationalist politics, his poems became more patriotic. Yeats addressed Irish politics in a variety of ways. Sometimes, his statements were obvious political commentary. For example, in the poem An Irish Airman Foresees His Death, Yeats directly addressed the insincerity of the British use of Irish soldiers in World War I. Such poems as Easter 1916 portrayed individuals and events connected to Irish nationalist politics, while others, like The Second Coming, faintly included the idea of Irish nationalism. In these poems, a sense of cultural crisis and conflict can be detected, even though the poems are not explicitly about Ireland. By using images of chaos, disorder, and war, Yeats expressed a modest observation of the political situations in Ireland and used his work to further comment on the nationalist issues of his day.